Welcome to Storycomic Presents, where we interview amazing storytellers and artists. This is episode 174. I'm your host, Barney Smith of Storycomic.com, and we're excited to have back with us the internationally acclaimed and talented comic creator, Sam Vera.
What's
Sam,
up?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So you know what? You were back on one episode. You're back on here in episode 145. Now we're here at episode 174. So we seem to have that reoccurring rhythm of about every 30 episodes or so. We come back in and check in on Sam and see how Sam's doing. So
That's
congratulations. Awesome. You are now at your Kickstarter. You're at your issue number 2, and you're already past your goal, which is amazing, and congratulations already in advance for that.
Thank you.
But talk to me, and you still got like a month left, almost. You got 20 days.
Yeah, almost 3 weeks.
Yeah. So talk to a bit of our listeners and viewers a little bit on There's an Alien in My Toilet, just to kind of give people a back of the box summary of that.
So Duty is just like any other teenager, right? But he's in a unique situation. His father's the Emperor of Uranus, right? So he has to live up to high expectations, and so he's also his guardian has to be the general of Uranus. He's the general of the army, and so he wants a break from Duty because Duty is a handful. So he sends him off to the third rock from the sun because he thinks nothing can come from it. Because the government on Earth will not allow society to believe that aliens exist. So they think Duty's in good hands. He'll go there. They'll say it's a weather balloon, and he's gone. So, Duty, he's a little overconfident and cocky, and so he heads off to Earth, thinking he's the only one capable of handling such a top secret mission. And he gets to refuel, and he crash lands. And from the moment he crash lands, he now has to survive Earth's simplest creatures, from woodpeckers to wolves to bears to squirrels, and so on. And each time he takes a licking. He refuses to admit defeat, and he talks a lot of smack. So in issue 1, it was he crash landed, and he survived encounters with a bear, with a wolf, with woodpeckers, and a turtle. And so now in this episode, he encounters a whole new series and you see him riding an ant. So this issue is I See Red People, which is because of the red ants. And so now Duty, and you'll see he's dressed up as a samurai. Well, he thinks in his imagination he conjures up the ants to be ninja, and he becomes a samurai. And in his imagination, he has to do battle with them. But in reality, he's taking a little whooping. So we'll find out what happens. There's a lot of new characters introduced in this issue, and there's also a government agency tracking down the crash site of the UFO. So that's okay. So they're called We Are Not Alone Incorporated. So they're out on the hunt, led by Agent Doe. So it's a good one. This is a fun one.
And like you say, you always have this is an all ages comedy. And you also have what I love about There's an Alien in My Toilet is that you also have some kind of educational materials.
Yes.
Kind of go along with that. Do you want to talk to us a bit about that?
Yes. Every issue of There's an Alien in My Toilet has 4 pages of activities, from word puzzles to trivia questions to mazes, to inspire imagination, creativity, research. Right. So a lot of science-based questions. So it'll really require you to go and do your homework and to try to find the answers. So what's good about this campaign, for the first time ever, I have a standalone activity book. So 24 pages filled with tons of trivia, puzzles, and how to draw Duty. So the kids can have fun with it. And, the adults can read the comic and laugh and give it off to the kids, and then they all can do the puzzles together, and it just make one big great experience for the whole family.
Right. So what are some of the things that are different in in this Kickstarter that's different from your previous Kickstarter?
Well, you're looking at one right now. That is the new look for the trading card game. It's called Duty's World. Um,
Okay.
and this is volume 2. So the first set of trading cards that were available in the first campaign, those are the ones I designed back in 2005, right? So those are vintage cards, but the game playing going forward, this is what it's going to look like. The front of the card, the face of the card is going to be Duty's World. But on the back of the card, I mean, you have villain cards, you got hero cards, you got element cards, power cards. You have level 1 cards. So, and each one of them have a different gameplay, power level, fuel level, and it's going to lead to the game, which I'll launch a campaign next year in the fall for the full game. Um,
Mm.
so right now, with the guidebook, you get an inside look into the characters that are coming down in the series. With the trading card, you'll get a jump start on the gameplay and the collectors, because it's going to change. And as the sets
Okay.
grow, there's going to be premium cards, and all those things. So that's what's new in this. The activity book is new in this campaign as well. So those are the two most new things that come in this campaign that wasn't available in the last campaign.
Now, was this something that I'm always curious about this? Is this something that the readers asked for? Or is this something that's kind of a love letter to yourself that you want to do this because you want these?
I want an entire experience.
Okay,
So
all
and
right,
it comes back to how I grew up. So when I
right,
grew up as a kid, when I had GI Joe, the action figures, I had the
yeah,
3/4 inch figures. I had GI Joe, the comic book. I had the magazine subscription. There was GI Joe the cartoons. I had GI Joe T-shirts. If it was GI Joe, it was on Sam. I had it,
right,
and so it was a full blown experience. I used to love the subscription magazines to the GI Joe magazine, because you had
yeah,
puzzles in the magazines. You had the questions. I used to collect my UPCs and send them in to get those rare collectibles. All those things that was fun. And so it creates this experience, and it creates this thirst for more content. So I wanted to provide that in the same way that I felt fulfilled with all these options. So it's like, if I can
okay,
provide those options for the next generation, you know, hopefully, it'll create that same sort of buzz, and they feel, and the readers will feel fulfilled, because today I have the comic book, tomorrow I have the guidebook, I can play the trading card game. you know um, I have the action figures. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's
right,
the ultimate goal.
right. And I know, and one of the things we talked about a few months ago was that comic books for kids.
Yes.
This is also available again.
Yes. So last time I was able to send 25 copies to Comic Book for Kids.
Nice.
Right now we're at 20 copies. It's going to go to them. But so if you look up right above that image, that was a response from the president of Comic Book for Kids
Yeah,
when I sent him the copy. He's like, Sam, we received the comics today. We had a chance to review it myself and loved it. Heck, I even had fun with the quiz. I can't wait to get these out. The kids are going to love these. And so for me, the reason why this is really important to me is because my brother was born with a defective liver. He spent most of his life in the hospital, most of his
mm,
early childhood in the hospital, and he received a lot of donations, and so he had a lot of toys and all that stuff that was from charity donors, and
right.
that stuck out with me when Russell Allen told me about this organization. So, which is why I did it on my last campaign, and I decided going forward, love to do the same thing. To be able to, when I went to the hospital to see my brother, he drew 3 monkeys in a barrel. That influenced me to draw, but then seeing it, all the generous people that gave gifts. So if I can do the same thing and put some smiles on the kids' faces that are in the hospitals for no fault
Right,
of their own, then I'm happy to do so.
right.
My ultimate goal is to, down the road when it's safe to do so, is have a life size duty, and like whether it's my wife because she's 4'11", in duty costume, and we go to the hospitals and drop them off ourselves to the kids. That'll be my ultimate
Right.
goal.
So let's talk about your tiers on here. I'm
Sure.
really it's one of my favorite things is looking at your duty tiers on here. You have so for $5 you can get the PDF.
Right.
right there. And that's always exciting to for those that do that for those that. So you see that you do have backers on here. So these people that probably backed issue number one, and now they're looking forward to the
Right.
second issue.
Yeah.
Um, and then you have on here for $10 for the digital pledge, you can get
Both issues.
issues both issues, and you've had people back that, so that means you've actually these are new readers for you.
Yes, yes. And so the ultimate goal is like I would love for everybody to come back, right? And so and I'm hoping that people are waiting till last week, because a lot of people do that because Kickstarter doesn't take the money until at the end of the campaign. So I think some people might want to be waiting. Um, but and then there's some new names that I've never seen before, which is always exciting. If I can continue to attract new readers, that's my ultimate goal.
Right. And then you have these are you get your backers on here, 11 backers so far for issue number 2. So
Yeah.
these are returning readers.
Yes.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah. And then you have and this is what you're talking about before, and this is what you're talking about, the trading card set.
Yes.
This is the game. This is the game.
This is part of the game. So this is
Okay.
the second volume of the trading for the trade. So the full set, the complete trading card series is probably going to be about 200 cards.
Wow.
And so each campaign, I'm releasing another set. And then once we get to the final chapter in Disneyland in My Toilet, I'm going to launch the tabletop trading card game play with the
Oh,
room
cool.
and
All
the
right.
board and everything. So you're getting a jump start on collecting the cards.
Okay. Or any of these cards that you're having on here from a collectible piece? Are they um, exclusive, or are
Well,
they just previews?
these are part of the game. The
Right.
premium cards won't be available till the actual launch of the game.
Oh, cool.
So yeah,
Okay.
and then every quarter there's going to be a new set of exclusive cards, like 4 times a year. And but one card I can say I'm going to just one card is going to be that's going to be really hard to find.
Hmm.
It's going to be a limited run. It's going to be Duty with the yellow tie. That's going to be because that was the original design for Duty. So I
Okay.
decided I'm going to make that the premium, one of the most sought after cards, and hard to get collectibles. So like out of every 100 sets of cards, it's probably going to be two.
Huh.
So that's going to be one that you're going to want to get.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. Cool.
you heard it first here.
You heard it. That's right. It's a story comic exclusive with Sam. All right. Look at
Yeah.
that. And then you have your and then talk and you did this last time too. You had variant covers as well.
Yeah, so this was an homage to Gunslinger Spawn. That cover right there, where he's falling into the giant ant's mouth. The Gunslinger Spawn cover, is Gunslinger Spawn shooting into the clown's mouth, and he's being and what's falling after him are a bunch of little clowns. So I
Right.
love that, and I said, you know what? Because Duty has in this series, the ants are one of the main focal points of the series. This issue, I thought that cover would be dope, really nice.
That's nice. That's really cool. And then you have, and this is your kind of your catch up physical copies right here,
Yeah,
where you have the issues 1 and 2, physical and digital.
yeah,
So, and that's a great deal right there if you look at it for $20,
yeah,
because you doing the math. This is a really good deal to
yeah,
get this one. So, and right here you already have backers for this. So these are also new readers for you.
yeah.
Yeah. Talk to us a bit about your duty special. I love saying duty.
The Duty special. So basically, you get the guidebook, the coloring book, the a bookmark. You get the trading cards. You get the activity book. You get issue 2, and you'll get a digital of issue 1. And so really, it's really if you already had issue 1, this is a Duty special for what's new with the campaign. So it's for
Okay.
anybody who's already back the first one. This would be a great one. So you'll get the physical of issue 2, but a digital of issue 1. But everything else you're getting physical, which is I think it's a really good collection.
Mm.
Um, from the coloring book to the first activity book ever, the bookmark, the trading cards, and the guidebook.
Right. Now, some of these are these available also as an add-on,
Yes,
for
everything's
instance?
available as add-ons.
Okay. All right. And then you have, and this is where the collectors really enjoy it.
Yeah,
Then you have your collect all 7 covers.
yeah,
And some of these are so because your first issue
five
you
covers.
had you had 5 covers.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this one you only have one variant cover.
I have one variant cover that's available. If we haven't got that far yet, but there's a stretch goal where
Okay.
there's the variant cover. If you've seen it, the one where he's in a spaghetti ball with a bunch of ninja and he's a samurai. That's the homage to Wolverine cover from 1983, I believe it is. Um,
Okay.
and so I love that cover, so I decided to reenact that with Duty and the ninja. That will be if we get to that stretch goal level, it'll be unlocked and be available for $5 for that variant cover.
Wow. Okay. All right. And then of course then you have your retail bundle.
Yeah,
And so somebody has to show you that they are actually a store, right? In order to get this.
yeah. Most of the time, I don't. The eBay sellers, they usually want the homage covers. So I
Hmm.
never had any of the eBay sellers get one of the retail bundles. It's always the retailers. So I just got. I saw a post by Mary Dumas, who has a store in Massachusetts. She backed the last campaign. She's actually just posted that she's going to back this one too. So can't wait for her to scoop that up. Last time I had
Okay.
3 retailers. I'm hoping to track more this time, and I'll be at the Dallas Fan Expo next week, so I'm going to go to every retail table and try to get them to carry the books.
Right. Okay. And then you have, and this is where people really like it right here is your super collectors bundle.
Yes, yes,
Wow. Oh
yeah.
my goodness. You have a backer for that too, it looks like
Yes,
too.
I have a backer that always backs the collection bundles. Very supportive. Backed my last campaign and got the big bundle as well. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, you get everything. You get all the covers. You get a sketch cover.
Right.
Art by me. You get a sketch card. You get both trading card sets, a bookmark, the guidebook, the T-shirt. It's a lot of stuff,
Wow.
and the sticker
Yeah.
bundle, the coloring book. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Right. Yeah. And you know what's really good? I gotta say, your marketing is amazing because I did get in the mail. You sent me a reminder. You sent me
The postcard.
a postcard. It was a bookmark.
Yeah,
Hey, don't forget. That was a where did that was that something that you read someplace, or is that something that you've always kind of practiced? How did
I've
you?
always so no. So what happened was, the early days when I first decided to do comics back in when I first became a publisher, independent publisher in 2005 officially. Uh,
Mm,
I did all the grassroots stuff. I it's even like when I was working.
right,
If I interviewed with an organization, they received a physical thank you letter from me as well as in digital. They got an email and they got a physical one in a card in the mail.
right,
And it was right after I left. So as soon as I left that interview, while everything was fresh in my head, and I can quote specific things from the conversation, I would
right.
type it up. I would go to a Starbucks and I would type it up and I hit send, and then I'd handwrite it, and I
Yeah,
put it in a card and I go in the mail. So I was up that I got from my mom. So one of the things I was struggling with is conversion. How do I convert readers? And
right,
so I said, you know what worked for me back in the early days was the grassroots stuff. Maybe if I send them a card in the mail, maybe that'll help. Um,
right,
so we'll see what happens. We'll see if it pays off because I sent out over 100.
right.
so we'll see.
And what I gotta appreciate too, and this is something that we don't talk a lot about, but we kind of glossed over it in last episode. That you do have other titles that are either ever going to be revisited again, or are they been kind of sunset a bit? Like
So yeah, so everything I've done is available on this campaign as add-ons,
yeah,
uh, and Forbidden's completely done. So like Forbidden, the graphic novel is done. Right now, George is finishing lettering the colored version because right now I print what's available on this campaign is a 160-page graphic novel in black and white.
Hmm.
And it's already printed. I got the box downstairs. It's not like I'm sending it out to print. Um, the colored version is going to go into stores. So I'm
Okay.
working with a print on demand distributor to get it into the bookstores on the Walmarts, the Targets of the world, all that stuff. And so I'm
Hmm.
getting an ISBN number. So George is just finishing wrapping it up, giving me the letter for the colored version. And but what when I went to the expo a week ago, what are the things that kept coming up? Duty was the talk of everything I've done, right? So
Yeah.
everybody was more interested in duty than anything else I've done. Um, and so one of the things that came out of it, do you have a dedicated website just for the brand? And I had a dutiesworld.com back in 05, 06, but when I left comics, I shut it down.
Oh,
So
okay.
so when I left that, I said, you know what, you're right. You're absolutely right. So when I got back, I spent last week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, locked in my office building dutiesworld.com. And I removed I eliminated crazy comics and I create the old template's gone. And
Right.
so now this is so one of the other things that came out of it is that my focus needs to be singular. My focus was I was spread thin. So
Hmm.
I had Catch the Crazies, Forbidden, my kids' books, all these things, and I was promoting everything and not really getting much traction. So what I learned from my experience at the expo was that if I really want to build this brand and build Duty into this experience that I keep talking about, then I need to make it my all. And
Right.
so now, from now for the next 10 years, God willing, my whole focus is just building Duty into a household brand, and that's my goal.
Right. And like you do have this, what if people want to go to dutiesworld.com, they're able to do that. And as you say, it's all duties. You get your comics, you get your artwork, shopping, you know, fan art, all that kind of stuff as well. Their characters, NFTs. Oh, that's fun.
That's coming
See,
down. The NFTs are
yeah,
coming soon. Yeah, so I'm
yeah.
working on a lot of things, and there's going to be the dedicated. So what's it's going to be subscription based. So you have to join the website to get access to the answers to all the trivia questions and all the books. So and it'll be where you'll also get the inside look on what's coming down with the new cards and the gameplay. So there's going to be some things. It's going to be for members, a member section that I'm building right now.
Right. And you have all your characters on here too. If people go to dutiesworld.com/characters, they're able to see
Yeah,
all your characters in there too.
yeah.
That's pretty cool. And yeah, so if anybody's interested in your other titles,
Yeah,
they're
so
not.
that'll be available next week. I'm working on that. So there's going to be a link that's on my website that says other books by Samuel, and
Okay.
there'll be a dedicated page where you can get any of the other books that I've done. So 90% of the website is going to be dedicated to duty, with a 10% with the other stuff that I've done.
Right. And that's really cool. I'm looking at like you have your so the 100 backer reward. So if there's 100 backers, do they have to be physical backers?
No, 100 backers.
Okay.
Physical backers will get a physical print. The digital backers will get a digital print. So this is the
Okay.
print. This is the print, and they'll get it not with the frame, but
Right.
so this is the print. It's 8 by 8, and it fits in a nice 10 by 10 frame. All backers, physical and digital. The physical backers will get a physical copy, and the digital backers will get a digital copy. And anybody
Okay.
who backed the campaign issue 1 and comes back, they're getting this magnet for free. Um,
Really?
yeah, so
Okay.
physical backers will all get this magnet in their package. It's a 3 inch by 4 inch. It's a pretty big magnet
Right.
of Super Duty and the diabolical egomaniac overlord nemesis Poo Poo. Oh, that's what's also new. So yeah, that's what's also new in this campaign. Duty's Adventures, the kids book. So yes, so for the first time, Duty's Adventures is available as an add-on. It's a 44-page children's book, and where Duty is growing up on his homeworld. Now this is a younger Duty, and
Mhm.
he's being bullied in school. So he becomes Super Duty, and he turns his bully into the diabolical egomaniac overlord nemesis Poo Poo, and they have to do battle. So you'll get an insight into Duty and what influenced his mindset as he grew into the Duty that you see in the comic books.
So that's under the add-ons,
Yeah,
correct?
it's under the
Okay. All right.
So yeah, that's why so Duty is like a full. You'll get to grow up with him. So the your 2 year old could read Duty's Adventures, and your 6 year old could read the 8 year olds could read Duty. There's in my toilet, and
Right.
everyone, and then the parents can play the trivia and the puzzles, and so it's something for everybody.
Right. Yeah, Duty's Adventures. Duty's Adventures. And that's the easiest said. That's a 44-page full color. Wow. Jeez. I mean, this is and we were talking last time you were on too that you actually also made a you tried a plushie and
Yes, it's right there, right behind
yeah,
me. Yeah, so
you got your
I have so you have this is the first iteration of Duty, which was the latex version.
right.
So this is the yellow tie and the belt. That's the premium card that's going to be hard to find. And this that was the original design for Duty. Um, and then there's the plush,
Okay.
um, Darius, and he has the tie on, and he has the belt. And I decided to not have any weapons in the belt
Right.
because my goal is kids put their M&Ms in them or their marbles or their toys in there. When they're playing, they can do whatever they want. And then I have the original bust that I had at conventions coming out, his head coming out of a toilet with his fingers on the bowl, um, on display at the conventions. Um, so yeah, so there's the original bust for Duty,
Right.
and then I have um, I don't have it with me here, still downstairs packed, but I have a prototype of Samurai Duty figure. I have a prototype of Super Duty figure and Army Duty figure.
Do you have a personal Duty version? Like, is there one that you've always that you're kind of partial to?
It's the original. This
Is
is
it
my.
the original?
I love the samurai design, but this is always going to be my favorite because this it was Mask Masters that made this for me, and he nailed it. He nailed the
Mhm.
specs. He nailed everything, and and this is always going to be my favorite
Right.
version of Duty, and so I want to get this exact spec model mass produced. Hopefully, the goal is to grow the fan base on the book.
And then you also have, and one of the other things too, and one of the that you also have the
The cover.
coloring book,
Yeah.
which is different than the activity book. To be
Yes,
clear,
it's a standard size 8.5 by 11 coloring book. So
right,
this is standard 8.5 by 11 coloring book, and it's full. You get to color all the characters of Duty, and it's just fun. So if you want to make Duty purple, you can make them purple. You can do whatever
right.
you want.
And also too, and that's what I love about it. You had there's so many things like the stickers, the 12-pack of stickers.
Yeah.
Are you ever at a point? Do you remember? So as kids, are you ever gonna commission to have any of those kind of like the puffy stickers? Like the ones that kind of have that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was looking into a lot of things. Like what are the things I wanted, and I'm gonna wait to the graphic novel campaign because I'm right now I'm at a crossroads. Do I
Mm,
go to issue 3 in October, or do I launched the campaign for the graphic novel, the first 5 issues collected. So right now,
right.
that's where I'm at. I'm tossing up the idea. It all depends on how I do with this campaign. And so I was looking at options, and one of the things I was looking for the crayon was a branded set of crayons, Duty crayons for the
Okay.
coloring book. So there's some things that I'm like I got going on that I have like a whole set of uh, bookmarks to say, all right,
Right.
can I do this? Can I do that?
And I remember we were talking last time. We were talking about the figurine. So
Yeah,
you still have some
yeah.
available, huh?
I have some available, and whatever doesn't no one that grabs here, I'm definitely will be able to sell at the expo next week, and so yeah, I have those, and those are the only ones that I did in a larger quantity. The other ones I just did prototypes,
Right.
uh, because I needed to have them on display at the event that I was at last week. Um, but yeah, so my goal is for the graphic novel to be in stores come winter this year.
Okay. Right. Yeah, and as we were talking about before we went live, so you be working on putting in another tier for
Yes, for the
the
podcasters.
podcast.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm going to do that as soon as we're done with this. I'm going to put it on.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, and basically what it is you anybody who selects that level that you just send me either an audio or a video file, and and it's for and we play it for a month. So it's a whole
Okay.
month's worth. Every week we'll promote your video or your audio file, or if you don't have that, send us a script and we'll read it on the show, and with a thumbnail image and everything, and then you'll be listed as the official sponsor of the show for that month. So whenever we post a new episode with a new guest, it'll say sponsored by,
Oh,
with a link
cool.
to you. So that's a
Okay.
great incentive, for any podcaster that's just trying to grow your podcast. um,
Yeah.
and uh, I do want to say, anybody out there, thank you for the 601 subscribers. We had 13 new subscribers this month, so thank you so much to the
That's
show.
awesome.
Yeah, and we're inching towards 100,000 views in a few weeks. It's
Nice.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's great. So we're growing. It's exciting. Little by little.
Right. So yeah. So congratulations on hitting the goal on
Thank
this.
you. Thank you.
And like I said, you already had 31 backers, and you still got a ways to go. You still have 20 days as of this recording. And as I said, huge fan of your work, Sam. It's
Thank you.
and I'm really excited to see uh, just your reader base grow, and I'm really excited to watch, as you say, people talking more about it, and I love the fact that I can read this with my 5-year-old and my 7-year-old, and uh, my 2-year-old doesn't read yet, but but I love how accessible the character is, and how you've made the story more accessible for all ages. Um, was this because of your other titles that you've put together, and you did some children's books? Was was this deliberate to make sure that this was accessible to all ages?
Yes. And I think people are sick and tired of me saying it. I think, everything's gotten so dark,
Hmm.
and when I I I yearn for Saturday morning cartoons. Like, I love watching The Loud House. I don't know if you know that animated series. I love it. I think it's great writing. I think it's funny. The artwork is amazing, and you need more of that. And so for
Hmm.
me, it's like, I stopped reading the big 2 years ago.
Right.
And uh, I'm a big fan of Jeff Smith's Bone, Mike Crunkle's Hero Bear and the Kid, Ben Benders, who has Bjorn. That style of art. Jake Parker style of art. These guys are, those are the guys that I dig. And for me, I wanted a story that you can just have fun and you can imagine. And you can see yourself in duty, because there's a little duty in all of us, right? Right? So, no pun intended. But you can see yourself, when you listen to his reactions, you could recognize how you would react in that scenario, and you can't help but laugh at him, because no matter what the situation is, he always finds a way to talk smack, and refuses to admit defeat, and I think that's endearing of the character, and,
Right.
and just to be able to have fun. And when
Right.
I was a kid, I used to love going up on my garage and staring at the stars. My uncle used to work; he was an engineer, and he used to make lasers and all this other stuff for a company. And he would tell me about the stars, and we look at this constellation. And he subscribed to MUFON magazine, and we used to do the look at conspiracies on UFOs and all that stuff. And just to if just to inspire the mind, if
Right.
I can do the same thing, to that next generation of creators and inventors, I mean, think about it. The Steve Jobs, the Bill Gates, the Jim Hensons, the Steven Spielbergs, they came from an era where imagination was everything.
Mm.
Where now it's like we're so desensitized, because everything's easier now because of technology, right? So we're trying to create the best technology to make our lives easier. Um, I think the inventors are the ones that came from just walking in the dark and
Right.
looking for what's possible. I
Right.
think that's what it is for me. So I'm just a big kid at heart, and I'm hoping that it translates and that people fall in love with the character to where I love them.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. And I love your, the secondary characters to Duty too. There's a lot of
Oh,
uh
wait till you meet Herman. Wait,
yeah.
so this Herman the Chihuahua, he shows up in issue 3. So he's a strong he's gonna have he has his own one shot that's gonna launch at the end of this series.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
it's called Coming to America. So he's a Chihuahua who was brought in from Mexico with a puppy mill, and he escapes, and eventually, and you'll find out how he gets into this home with Bobby and his dad. But so it's going to tell his story and how he's being sought after by Ken Ketchum, which is a dog napping organization. And so, but Herman, when you meet him, he thinks Duty's a talking jalapeno. So there's a rivalry between the two that really, really takes the story to a whole nother level.
Well, I gotta say, Sam, this is you gotta make sure that you come back on
Oh,
when
definitely.
you do to promote issue number 3. And as I say, a huge fan of it. I'm
Thank
excited to back it again. Yeah, and as I said, my kids love it. My kids loved when we had the guidebook. We looked through that. They loved it. They really it as you say, it inspired them. It is heartening to watch my daughter open up the comic book and draw side by side next to it, trying to
Well,
draw the characters.
that is
So
awesome.
yeah, yeah. Well, perfect. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Sam, for
you.
coming on, and I'm excited to read issue number 2.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm looking forward to you reading it too and getting your feedback.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Sam. And you do, and do you? I'm just kind of curious as well. Like, so you have this red theme going on here. You have your. Did you mean to have your hat match your shirt, or is that just
Yeah, I
accident?
always do that.
Oh, do
Yeah,
you?
I try to make if for whatever hat I'm wearing, I try to make the shirt match.
Really? Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Was it my one of my you always said make sure your shoes match your belt, like making sure
Yes,
like if you're wearing a
yes,
brown, yeah. So it's yeah, yeah.
yes. Even and if you're wearing a suit, the watch strap should match the color of your shoes.
The watch strap
Yeah,
matches the color of your
yeah.
shoes too.
So if I had brown
Okay.
shoes, I had a brown leather watch, band. If I had black shoes, I had a black band. Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
right. I just recently got into bow ties. I started wearing.
Nice.
I started. You know what? I was like, I decided. That um, I've always been big all my life, and so the first time I'm below 200 pounds. I always said to myself, if I ever get down below 200 pounds, I'm going to start wearing a bow tie. Tried it out, um, and I posted a picture on Instagram. People liked it, so yeah, maybe
There you
maybe
go.
start.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. See, yeah.
I mean, for years I wore suspenders. I didn't wear a belt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
yeah, you pull off suspenders. I believe that. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I met my wife. She said that the reason why she was attracted to me because I was the only man she knew wore suspenders.
That's awesome. Yeah.